Hi, everyone. Happy Monday.
Hi.
So, welcome to another plot with us. So, it's a little early because I have so many other live streams and meetings today. So, normally we try to do it a little maybe later, but I guess what time is it there, Molly?
It is 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. And in the East Coast, it is noon. So, I guess it's like lunchtime.
Not too bad, right? A little early for Pacific time.
Yeah.
You're an early bird, so.
I am.
Yeah.
So today, if you didn't know, Molly and I switch off. So I will talk about contemporary cozies, and then Molly talks about paranormal cozies.
Yes.
And this will be our last stream for the year because we have Christmas coming up.
Can't believe it. Way too soon for me. Anyway, do you know I still have to do tons of shopping? I haven't started really. So.
Oh no.
Yeah. Just have to get down to it this week.
Well, maybe that means there'll be better sales because retailers will be desperate to get their stuff out.
Maybe.
All right. So I was actually on time today and I put the workbook link in the description. So if you would want to download today's workbook link, you can do it there. And so today I can make us bubbles. Are we better as bubbles?
Cute. I like it.
All right. So we're just going to talk about MacGuffins. So MacGuffins are that thing that happens in your story that in theory makes it more exciting. So we're going to talk about that today. And just a little background. I added this slide to us.
Oh, cute.
Molly and I both have different perspectives. So she loves true crime.
Totally. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite shows that you watch?
Oh gosh, now there's this one about stalkers. There's been two different series about stalkers I've been binging lately, but I can't remember their particular names. But it's what I like to go to bed to for some reason, is all these stories about creepers in the bushes.
We all need a hobby.
Right.
Whereas I like the Hallmark movie channel. So I need things scripted. I need a fiction story. So
right.
I don't want the real stories. I just find them to move. They're slower. The characters aren't as fun.
Well, Hallmark around Christmas is the best anyway. I'll watch Hallmark too around Christmas.
Right? Oh, well, it is a bummer. So at Christmas time, if you like mysteries, they actually convert the mystery channel into just regular Hallmark Christmas movies.
They don't it's any all mysteries. Christmas, all the time. Okay.
So that is sad. Anyways, we also love cupcakes. I don't know if we'll ever talk about cupcakes here, but we do like them. And we like plotting. In fact, we've probably done more plotting this year. I know I have than actual writing. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I've been organizing my latest mystery for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll change next year. But yeah, right now this year we're all about plotting. So if you're in the right place, if you're an aspiring cozy writer who loves animals, and so I changed it. It used to be a picture of a cat, but I made it a cat and a dog.
Now it has a dog too. I'm a super dog lover.
Yeah, I actually like both. I'm a dog person, but then I have a cat somehow. All right, so download today's workbook. So every single point we're going through, you'll find it in the workbook in case you want to take some notes or jot some ideas down as we go along. But basically, the MacGuffin is something, if you didn't know this is the most replicated jewelry piece, cinema jewelry piece in history. Everybody wants this cheesy blue necklace, which I don't think, have you ever had one?
No, not at all.
I mean, maybe this is a Christmas idea for some of your shopping.
Maybe. I do remember a huge fad where engagement rings ended up being colored rather than pure diamonds, if you remember that sometime after this.
Yeah. So a MacGuffin basically is just a plot device. So it's something that sets the story in motion, right? So if anybody remembers, it's kind of like The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride was a story in a story. So remember, the grandfather was reading to the son or to the grandson about the Princess Bride story. And it's the same thing here with the Titanic. They were all searching in the deep parts of the ocean among the wreckage of the Titanic for this blue heart diamond necklace. Right. So it wasn't really about that. So it's something that sets the story in motion. But in theory, the MacGuffin could be anything. So you could replace this with, they're looking for, I don't know, a bracelet, a ring or something else. It's just something that it doesn't matter is the whole point.
Right.
And sometimes
it's a vehicle to the plot. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's like a vehicle to the actual plot.
Yes.
It's like it's connected, but it's getting you a surprise. Here's the actual story
Yeah.
we're getting into.
And sometimes they say it's something that motivates the villain. And the word guff means anything trivial or anything worthless. So that's where that
Oh,
word comes from. Yeah, I was like, maybe it's a Scottish person who came up with that. But um,
oh,
yeah, so there's one ring. So
oh, yeah.
this is kind of funny. So there's a huge like the writing world controversy out there of people arguing whether or not the ring is a MacGuffin or it's necessary to the plot. So some argue that it's not a MacGuffin because it can't be interchanged with another object. I mean, I still think it could. It could be interchanged with a bracelet, a watch, a sword, a belt, a glove, anything that
It's
like
the power that matters in it.
yeah. It's like I think it could have been anything. And then others people say like without the ring there wouldn't be any story, which is kind of true. There wouldn't be any story, but you still could have replaced it, I think, with
Right.
something else. And
Right.
this is also the second most replicated cinema jewelry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never actually seen those out and about, but I guess I've seen them sometimes. Like, I guess you could buy one. It never occurred to me to buy one.
No. I actually would imagine some fans that are men might want to actually have this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not very feminine, so you could still kind of wear it and feel cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so MacGuffins can also be a person. So if anybody remembers, I don't know, you might be too young, but this movie Private Ryan was all about the.
I remember it. Yeah.
You do? And so the whole thing was they wanted to save Private Ryan because he had 3 brothers and they were all killed in the war. It was like, I think it was World War II. And so there's no cell phones there. There's no GPS tracker. So it sets the story in motion that they're just running around the countryside during the war trying to find out where this one guy is. Honestly, I don't know how, you know how you can see in those movies, there's one guy with a backpack that has like a phone on it.
Oh, yeah. There's some kind of radio thing.
Yeah, I never understood how those worked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? Like there was no cell phones back then, so I don't.
Similar to like ham radio stuff, I guess maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what a ham radio is.
Yeah, but it looks like a phone, so you're like, I was very
really
confused by this.
Interesting.
So, anyways, so this is like there's a whole story underneath here, but that's what sets the story in motion. So he's a MacGuffin in this.
Okay, I see.
You can also make them cute. So if you remember 101 Dalmatians, so this one was also about, this is what motivated the villain, right? So the villain wanted to make fur coats out of these cute Dalmatians. So you might be wondering, how did this one mom dog have 101 puppies? She did not. So her and her husband were trying to save their own like puppies. And then along the way, they found 84 other Dalmatians that they also saved as well in the process. So it added up to 101. Yeah. Yeah, something to watch this year during Christmas.
Well, and this also brings a lot of sympathy toward the
Oh yeah. And they can also be cats. I don't know if anyone, did you see this movie Keanu?
No, I didn't. I have not even heard of that, but that's Key and Peele, right?
So, yeah, it's Vincent Peale. Like these guys are hilarious. And so they just made this cute movie about this cat. So basically this one guy, they're cousins, right? And so the one guy's like a loser, can't like get anything. His girlfriend dumps him, so he's all depressed. And then he opens his door and there's a cat there. And it's like this stray cat. And he's like, oh my God, this cat is so cute. So him and the cat are getting along. He's like taking pictures of the cat. He makes like this little calendar of the cat that's going to make money. So anyways, he's like totally in love with this cat. And then his apartment, just by a series of like this drug dealer breaks into the wrong apartment, and he breaks into his apartment, trashes it, and then he steals the cat. And so they want the cat back. So they figure out that the cat was stolen by the drug dealer, Cheddar. So Cheddar says, hey, if you want your cat back, you need to like work for me. And so he has to do all these crazy things. Like it sets the story in motion, doing all these like crazy drug dealer activities just so they can get their cat back.
Wow.
So
interesting.
I just thought it was cute.
Funny. Yes.
So the original term MacGuffin did not come from Hitchcock. So there's he's the one that really made it famous. It was actually a playwright that made it famous. So the word MacGuffin comes from this little joke that Hitchcock told, where he said, one guy says, "What's that suitcase?" Because they're in a train and there's a suitcase above. And the other guy said, "Well, it's an instrument for trapping lions in the Scottish Highlands." And he goes, "But there are no lions in the Scottish Highlands." And then he said, "Well, then there's no MacGuffin." So you're kind of confused. You're like, what? So basically, he's just saying it's nothing. So, so anyways, I said can be ambitious or lazy. That's a tagline from something else. I forgot to delete it. But it's basically something that you don't care about, can replace with anything. Now, George Lucas came along in the 80s and totally changed the meaning of it, where he said, no, it is something you care about. And he said in his books, it was the Ark of the Covenant. It was R2-D2 in Star Wars. And so the question is, who's right? So in theory, Hitchcock is right, because he made up the phrase. You can't just come along later and like change the meaning of something. But it's okay to like have things as open to interpretation. So then we get a couple more definitions. Plot coupons. I actually never heard of this until I researched this. Have you heard of these?
No.
So it was penned by this 1980s TV writer who actually had no good examples. I don't even know why he came up with this term. But it's basically a plot coupon is like a quest. So you have, you know how you see a story and they like think they're going to solve it because they found the witness, but then they find out the witness was hired by somebody else. Oh, so now they have to go find the guy who hired him. And then they find the guy who hired him. And then they find out he was really blackmailed by somebody else. So now they have to find the guy that was blackmailing. Right. So,
oh my goodness.
These are plot coupons, right? Like where you have one step, then you have another step, and then you have to do something else.
Till finally revealed, right?
Yeah. Okay. So that's one concept. Another thing that you can do with plots is plot vouchers. So plot vouchers, I've never heard of this either. Have you?
No, it's all new to me.
Yeah. So plot vouchers are where there's an object that saves the character later. So like maybe it's something that's given to them at the beginning. It could be something of meeting. Like remember 007 used to get all those cool gadgets from Q?
Oh, right.
That he could use later. So it has to be something that they get at the beginning and then they have to carry with them all the time that they cash in later. So like a famous one is like sometimes in movies, somebody dies and they'll say, oh, you know, Joe would have wanted you to keep those dog tags and wear them and keep them close. And so you wear the dog tags and then later you're shot by a bullet, but it hits the dog tag, which deflects the bullet, which obviously wouldn't happen in real life. It would just go through you, but it deflects the bullet because maybe these are like titanium dog tags or something. And then that saves your life. So
it's not really known at the beginning of the story that this is going to be so important at the end. The character doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So it has to be something that they get early and they have to carry it at all times. You have to give them a reason to do that.
Right. Okay.
So in my story, in the third book, I had Vanilla and Vendettas. And so what I did is I had a missing engagement ring. So Ava had baked a cupcake and inside of it was hidden a super expensive engagement ring. And so when they open up in the first chapter, she opens up the cupcake and the girl's eating it and the guy's waiting because he's waiting for her to find the ring so then he can propose and there's no ring in there. And so this is the thing that everyone's looking for is the diamond ring. And so it sets the story in motion.
I see. That's your MacGuffin.
Yeah. So in your book, in your plotting, you want to think about your retail value of your MacGuffin, right? Like, is it something that can be hawked? Is it something special? How do you know it's that diamond ring versus another one, right? So mine was a Harry Winston Halo cushion cut. It was $100,000. It was ordered special from New York and it had an inscription inside the band. So when they found it, they knew that was the one and it wasn't a knockoff.
Good point. Yes.
And then what I did is I had plot coupons. So every visitor to the shop was recorded on a surveillance tape. And so she had to track each one down. So her quest was finding clues. And then her coupons were the clues in the book. So one of them was the milkman that delivers milk to her.
Okay.
And then her plot voucher was her sewing skills. So it wasn't actually a thing. She was sewing things. And so she was helping out her neighbor because she was in a play. And then her other assistant was in a play. So she was helping them because the set couldn't afford costumes, right? So she was just being a good Samaritan.
Right.
And she was talking about her stitching. So anyways, it was kind of like a combination of like, you know how Sherlock Holmes always has that style of observation?
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
she knew different types of stitching, and she had talked about it in the beginning. And then she found the diamond later in the liner of the pants because she was like, this stitching isn't right. No one would stitch something like that. And then
Okay.
she fixed it, and that's how she found the diamond. So,
I see. Yep. Yep. I get it. The
that's
plot
why.
voucher, like you
Yeah.
said, with the dog tags.
Yeah,
Talk
because if
about-
she just figured out later, oh, the stitching looks wrong, but you hadn't seen her sewing in the beginning, you'd be like,
Mhm.
okay, you
Wouldn't
just,
make sense,
yeah,
right?
you threw this in just to fix your mystery.
Makes me think of Legally Blonde and the hairdressing and at the end.
Yeah,
The
her
hair that
plot
was
vouchers are that she knows everything about fashion and hairstyles and everything else.
exactly.
So, anyways, if you have done all of those things, then you were halfway there. Remember, tangible objects make all stories better, especially genre fiction. I think it's a reason that I know I personally find literary fiction incredibly boring, like a total snooze fest, right? Because there's no tangible objects. They're just like drama and talking esoterically about like random subjects and philosophical things.
Yeah. It gets kind of lost, but
Yeah.
I really like how like there's the emotional tie to the object as well with these. For some plots, you can have like
Mhm.
that power driven angst. You could have like that romantic, inscription. So it's not just the $100,000; it's also that. And like you said, the villain is also motivated just purely by these MacGuffins because of the value monetarily. So they're wanting the money from it, and
Mhm.
the protagonist is wanting the emotional connection and the value of it all together. So
Yeah, for sure.
everybody's fighting for it.
So that's a wrap on today. I think I didn't even check the comments. Oh, hey, Robbie.
Oh, hi, Robbie.
So I didn't have anything else to add. Did you? Oh, look, we're still
I
going.
didn't. No, I had never actually heard that term before, and I don't know how common that is about MacGuffins and in the cozy genre. I've been in this for a while, and I'm surprised that I had never heard that term. But it goes back to, like you said, Hitchcock, and even before him, and it was just kind of all brand new and interesting to me. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great Christmas. And our next session is going to be in January, and it's going to be Molly, and she's going to be talking about your protagonist's supernatural abilities.
Yeah. Variety of options you got there for your supernatural